Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is Wireheads. We do cyberpunk things here. We are a podcast. We do this pretty much every week. This week is our 70th episode. Last week, we memed a little bit. We had ourselves some fun with some tier lists while blazing on the heavenly lettuce, the elevating herb. This week we are sober, but we have not gotten through all of our tier lists, which is what we intended to do last week. So this week we are literally going through the biggest tier list of them all. We're going through every DLC / bonus article from an interface that we have thus far received. In Diamond's half of today's episode, we have gotten through a grand total of, I believe that's 17 of them. There are many more than that left. So we're going to see how quick we can get through this. We're going to try and get through this all in the hour we have left with today's episode. But we have thoughts, we have opinions, and we are talking about them. So, of course, joining me, as always, is my co-host.
Hello, everybody. I'm Diamond. If you didn't see my introduction in the first half of the episode, go back, because I'm not going to explain it again. I want to get into the tier list.
Very true. All right. So, yeah, let me just go back to my main monitor here. I'm going to switch in 3, 2, 1. All right. Now we're back at the tier list. So, I suppose moving on, this is kind of, we got like a twofer here, because these are kind of the same, DLC only different. We got Cargo Containers and Cube Hotels and Silverhand Studios. One covers, as mentioned.
Yeah, corporate con apps and studio apartments, I think.
Yeah. So Cargo Containers and Cube Hotels and this, I think when we put them into a tier, it's going to be the same tier. Because they functionally do the same thing.
They provide a little bit of gear, some stuff to add to your home.
Yep.
And also provide like actual like locations and some benefits at those locations, or
reasons to avoid
complications. Complications. I'll call them complications.
Yeah, reasons to avoid them.
I want to call them B tier because like they breathe life into the setting, and also kind of give like your home some attitude as well.
I agree. I don't think that they're like so incredible that I would put them in A tier. Like this isn't something you're going to use all the time. It's something you'll probably use at least once in a campaign. And that fact alone makes them very useful. I would say that every GM is going to use these at least once. But with things like the Atlas coming out and stuff like that, these are somewhat being rendered obsolete because now you have them summarized in other DLCs. And yeah, I think like these even when they came out though, I think I would have said there's probably like B tier. They're good. But they won't see much use. You're not going to use these every single session.
Yeah.
And they are kind of replicated in things like the Atlas.
Some of the stuff that I was looking at, like when it comes to gear, though, like we get the cough popper.
Yep, we do.
We have the fire safe. I have actually burned someone's cargo container before, and they're just like, "Well, actually, GM, I have a fire safe." And I'm like, "Oh,
that's fair." Yeah.
I mean, good thing it's portable, I guess. But like, man, the hidden compartment's also nice.
Yeah.
Also, corporate con apps and studio apartments. They came out on Johnny Silverhand Day. All right, so like,
that doesn't really matter to me in the sense of what it is, but yes, it is cool.
We got a Zarafa ant. What is the anteater?
Pest control drone.
Charming black. Huh? It's just it's a vacuum. It's okay. It just okay. All right.
It is a vacuum.
But
yeah, right. I think B. I wouldn't put it down to C because C to me is like where it's almost irrelevant. like the 100 logos is like, it's cool lore, but it's nothing groundbreaking. Like the PNGs are good if you are going doing kind of high effort stuff for your table, like making handouts that are scream sheets or themed after a corpse or whatever, but they're beyond that, it's kind of it's whatever. These are better than that, but yeah, like these are just like, they're there. You'll use them once or twice a campaign, probably. They're good if you want to decorate your home. That's about it. So Diamond, where do you want to go next?
Chasing the rabbit. So personally, I love watching roller derby. I enjoy it a lot. And Drut, or Linda Evans, aka Drutter Cup, over in the Artal server, wrote rules for roller derby and also added more world lore on like various teams across the city. And this was added for Tales of the Red Hope Reborn. At some point in there, you will get involved in a roller derby. It's a lot of fun. It is a good way to have like a fun blow off steam session with combat, but without there being a lot of dangerous risks, unless you decide to make it extra dangerous. It contributes a mini game, which I mean, I always enjoy having a mini game. I kind of think C tier.
I think C. That's where I would stick it.
I like it.
Yeah,
it's not like top used, but definitely C tier.
Yeah, and I think in a similar vein, just to talk about it really briefly, because I don't think it needs much more than this. Stickball, I would put there the same.
Stickball, yes.
Yeah, suggested stickball next. I'm already going there because stickball is literally like, these are cool things. Like, do not get me wrong, I like the fact that we have mini games in the game in case you want to illustrate the world at that level of granularity. Unless you're telling a really specific kind of story, or getting very granular about your world building, odds are pretty good you're not going to use these. And that doesn't mean that they're not good for what they do. They're very specific. And most GMs, I would hazard to guess, are probably not going to go that deep with it. Just because it's not really that deep most of the time. Or if you want to go deep with something, it's usually not that layer of the world. So I guess next actual discussion I want to have, kind of want to save the Elflines one for later.
We have to save the best for last, okay?
That's the funny thing, is I don't even think it's the best, but it is a favorite of ours. I'm gonna start with some of the back articles. Okay. Going metal. Let's talk about going metal.
The power ceiling for the street, yes.
Yes. So street level ends where going metal brings us. And that pretty well defines what endgame starts to look like in a lot of ways. FBCs are a cultural niche within the city. It's made pretty clear that they are othered. So they are a decent analog for marginalized communities in a way. And they kind of are like marginalized communities, disabled persons, and just generally like, but they're generally powerful, which is why they're ostracized the way that they are. And it I don't know. It adds a layer to the game that is very interesting, and it adds a power ceiling thing that makes it very much like we're playing with the big toys now when you're telling street level stuff. I have a really hard time thinking of whether or not this one, it does a lot. It is pretty complicated to kind of parse out the first time you approach it. Because I know for me at least, it was like well, what happens to all my stats and stuff? Because there is like part of FBC cyberware, like your hydraulic upgrades, that modify some stats, and you really had to like consider like, okay, well, like what does that do? I would say it's A tier. I am pretty sure I would say Going Metal's A tier. Because
I agree.
Yeah, like I don't know that it's mind-blowing enough to go S, but it does. When it came out, this was hype as fuck. Like you would have a hard time finding anyone. Like it was hype enough to the point that I know you and I talked about this. They made the controversial decision, I will say, to make Interface Red Volume 3 a timed exclusive on a Humble Bundle that had most of the books, if not, I think it was all of the books up to that point that Cyberpunk had, both for 2020 and Red. And it's for the new people, awesome entry point. Very cool. Love that was made available for those people in the community that did not have everything yet. But consequently, on the flip side,
we had to wait a month.
If you wanted to be smart about it, you had to wait the month, because otherwise you're just wasting money. I just went ahead and bought it anyways because I'm a content creator and I needed to have it to talk about it. Because at the time, I don't think Artal had really fully built out their media program the way that they have now. Had it been then that I had been in media, I would have just asked Rob for it and then we would have been fine. But at the time, not having that, it created a weird wrinkle and it didn't feel great. I was not a big fan of the way they rolled that one out. Thankfully, they have not done that again since. They did, I think, learn a lesson in that. Even if they haven't really spoken about that particularly much. They have not done that again. But this article was very good when it came out. It added a lot to the game. FBCs were a heavily requested element that we did not have and that had been mentioned. And due to my novice understanding of the game when I first got into Street Stories, they mention an FBC being on an altar at one point, and I didn't know what the fuck that meant. So having this really does help, again, further lay cement into the world. But Oscar did mention something that I kind of agree, like we should probably talk about it next, because I think it kind of falls under a similar category.
We'd get around to it when we got around to it, but okay. All right.
No. Because I think Bioexotics coming next, I would agree that it, order-wise, I think does make a degree of sense. What do you think about Exotics to 2045?
Bioexotics to 2045. Man, I remember hanging out in a chat when this got dropped, and some people, like, nobody had any idea of what was coming. And it was such a split house when this came out. I personally love the idea of having the bioexotics.
Yeah.
And I understand some people are like, oh, there's furries in my game. It's like, no, they've been there since 2020.
Yeah.
And this is, and the bioexotics are probably like some of the best ways to get like a lot of packaged cyberware in one go.
Yeah. I think my opinion on this one is it's an A-tier DLC.
It is absolutely an A-tier article. Yeah, it is.
And most people may not see it or agree with it that way, but I have played with people at my table repeatedly now where they want to engage with this part of the game. Whether or not they're furries, does it really matter? I don't really care. Nah. There's a lot that this adds to the game, and it defines something we got in the core rulebook, then was given a price for in the core rulebook, which is what biosculpting does, right?
Exotic biosculpting.
And so if you are exotic biosculpting, this is what this leads toward. The way they package it in here obviously is a little different than the way it's presented in the core rules. But that doesn't mean that your Ripper couldn't do some of these things. It just means that you're gonna take a bigger humanity hit than you would if you got it all at once. And it does layer some things into the game in a way that is like, and add new cyberware too. Like there's some new cyberware in this. It is a good DLC.
Like mouth-mounted flamethrower. You can just breathe fire. Like it's so good.
Yeah. No, I love that DLC because it's not one I come to all the time, but when I do need it, it is an incredibly useful DLC.
Yeah, also the combat jaw culture, you're absolutely right. Yeah, Bioexotics 2045, I just all around very clean, very nice, well put together.
And Oscar mentioned something in chat that I just want to respond to real quick. He says, I figured out what Going Metal and Bioexotics is to make it S tier rules for creating your own. So Going Metal does. Yeah, Going Metal does actually have rules for making your own. Bioexotics don't.
Yeah,
but
the only reason, like for me, why these two don't quite hit S tier, they're excessive. Like now, Bioexotics 2045 actually was the first time we got like variable fixer availability.
Yes,
where something might be outside the normal price category.
Yep.
So we see that, but it's also just the price category for a lot of the stuff that's presented here.
Yeah.
And like Bioexotics, you require a month. Your character is gone for a month. They're out of play while they're getting, all their stuff dealt with. So while the rest of the party is out there, which it's a good time to, experiment with maybe a different play style for a little bit while your others out at the zoo.
So I think, I think I found another game support, collecting the random.
I wasn't sure where we were going to put collecting the random.
I think that's game support, honestly, because it doesn't. It kind of lets you recontextualize some things, but I would say it
offers good adventure ideas.
Yeah, it adds good adventure ideas, but like it is mostly a game aid. It's not really something that adds a lot. So I'd be willing to put on a game support because it's harder to rank that against the other stuff that we have in here.
And for anyone that might be wondering, well, Dia, what does it take to get to S tier? It has to be like what Emmerron said, groundbreaking, but also there has to be a level of player accessibility that they can immediately jump in after that. After that, let's see, what do we got next that we want to jump to? Do we just want to keep hitting the interface articles while we're at it?
We can, yeah. Let's do Cyber Fist of Fury next.
S tier.
S tier. Yep, I agree.
It is super accessible right out the gate, and it gave the martial artists a much bigger variety to work with, and also introduces, like, for example, Drunken Fist, you can get luck points back.
Yep. There's a lot of really cool stuff in martial arts just as a whole, and this really added ways to layer it, made MMA really a thing, and like one of my players was complaining very early on because he actually does martial arts. And those of you watching on Inferno know Ghost. He is, or even Broken Circle. Like Ghost is actually in both of our stream games right now. Yeah. And he's studied martial arts in real life and is a particular fan of them. And so when I showed him the martial arts back when we started Neon Inferno, he's like, well, this seems really limited. And then he looked at Pacific Rim, which is a 2020 source book that had a shitload of more of them. And he's like, why don't we have Pac Rim in red? And I'm like, they probably just haven't developed it yet. And sure enough, it was like maybe a year at most after we had that conversation that we got a playtest for doing exactly that. And so I immediately said, Ghost, you need to be in on this playtest. I can't tell you why, but you need to be in on it. The moment I got him in, he's like, holy fuck, this is incredible. And then it was like biting tongues all the time.
I know.
This shit is coming and we can't talk about it.
The fact that jiu-jitsu came out, which was what I practiced for a time, I love seeing more of the circular martial arts come out as well.
Yeah.
in the midst of this.
No, this one really blew the game up in a way that, like, ever since this, like, martial arts are a heavy consideration for just about every player I've run into.
Also, Shaitan.
Yeah.
We finally figured out, like we actually got the real story on Shaitan, and like, oh man,
the lore.
Oh, what a guy!
The lore piece on this was very good.
And the artwork.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, all across the board. Let's talk about, I guess, the last of our interface articles that we have to discuss still. Solo of Fortune 2045. It's not even going to be a shocker to say this is an S tier thing. It literally expands the game beyond what it should be. This is the controversial one, if anything, to put it in this tier list, because it is so nearly a source book, which is like, yeah, it's extremely expansive with what you get for this one.
I'd say if we sliced away, like, if we sliced out all the product and it's just how to run mercenary level campaigns.
Yeah.
Like, that alone makes it worth as is.
Interface Volume 5.
The extra firepower and the ACPAs.
Yeah. No, Interface Volume 5 is carried by this thing, like, without, like, this is the thing you're buying with Interface Volume 5. The rest of it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good or bad any of the other stuff in it is. This just wins. Like, you want that book for this alone.
We have the power, like, we especially when there's groups that get tired of telling street stories, we finally have something above the street.
Well, and this is also a thing that, like, and I was saying this for a long time, there would hit a point at the street where it's like, we aren't trying to tell a street level story anymore with the way that things are shaking. You're telling something bigger than that, and this is the bigger than that. So it made me very happy. I was like, this is exactly what we're missing. This is effectively that third tier of play that you normally just do not get at any point without the support that it got in that. So yeah, it's I agree with Oscar. It might even be S+. Like, this is just like the highest. Like, I haven't been sorting these in any particular way, but this really is like, it is top tier for all of this. So from there, where do we want to go? Do you have an opinion, Donald?
Well, let's see. I've got Danger Gal Dossier Plus, like, at top of the list, if we want to just kind of go bounce back to there for now.
Sure, yeah.
It provides new characters. It provides plot hooks for the different factions, which is so nice as a GM. It provides plot hooks that I use from time to time. It's so nice. It does have, like, some characters that are from, the adventure, and also extras that didn't make it into the book itself. I want to put this way, like, it's all right.
Yeah, it's all right,
but it's nothing spectacular. I would put it at D tier.
D?
D?
D as in Delta or B as in Bravo?
D as in Delta.
I don't know about that.
Okay, all right. Let me hear your case for this. What do we got?
All right, so here's my thinking, right? You've got some stat blocks in here. You've got a couple of additional pieces of cyberware that we get in here that round out.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah. So there was something in this one because they reprinted all the cyberware that was in the original book. And there were 3 pieces of cyberware in Danger Gal that we got on it was on the pin set, the Penny Arcade pin set. Microchrome.
I got the pin set.
And so, this reprinted the other one that was missing out of that, so that now you don't need to buy Microchrome, so it consolidates that. And I think the plot hooks, the character stuff, I don't think this is D. I would put this, honestly, I'd put this at C, because it's got enough. It's got enough. It's about 100 logos level of useful. Like, I think C is where that kind of lives. Yeah. Like, you're not going to use it all the time. I haven't really looked at it for the most part since it came out. But when you consider that it is completing certain things and making them more accessible, like, oh no, I don't have to spend 50 cents. I mean, Oscar, it makes it less frustrating because then it's in the collective kind of stuff here rather than it needing to be like, oh, I have to dig through like 5 things to find everything I want. Now it's just in front of you and you don't have to go searching through to grab another thing. I think that the accessibility gives it a slight bump there. So, let's talk. Let's talk about Segatari Power.
The feature, like the rules that it brings in, are very, very powerful, very useful.
Mm-hmm.
Like Eno and Tactical Overwatch alone have already proved their worth. Main character's pretty good. What was the other one?
So main character, Tactical Overwatch. Then there was what is the other one?
I'm pulling up Segatari Power right now.
Yeah, because I'm like, main character, Tactical Overwatch, and Eno are the 3 that I typically use.
Dice stacking. That's more of a
dice stacking. Yeah.
In combat, whenever a player's die rolls its maximum value, they must stack all the dice rolled for the attack and damage. Should the tower collapse? Yeah. It's
there's a part of me that wants to put this in A tier.
It's a good lore buff and the rules are great.
Ever since this came out, my parties have used Eno, and Eno is genuinely a good addition to the system. Because it makes that average 1 feel far less painful. And there's some metagaming to this where it literally turns into like it's a negotiation at the table and do you want to spend your Eno? It adds some fun intrigue. We even had a conversation last night in Broken Circle that Ghost brought up. He's like, that's Eno bait. I'm not using Eno on that. It's Eno bait. And he was right. It paid off that he didn't use his Eno right then and there. It was very smart on his part. So it has this really cool rules meta negotiation that kind of happens between players and GM then, without it turning into like a very adversarial thing. It just is a discussion, and then it adds intrigue and keeps people engaged. I think any rule that keeps your players engaged is a good thing.
And Tactical Overwatch is really good for like your non-combatant or like your less combative players to be able to contribute to combats or other situations as well.
Yes. And that's, I think tactics having a genuine use is nice. I think that's I can see it's A tier just for that last page of rules alone. Like it does some good stuff. The lore is also really good. Like if you're a nerd, you'll like this. I'm also slightly biased because Nintendo Power was part of my childhood. That was one of the earliest things that I was subscribed to, and I still have a box that my wife was asking me like, can we get rid of this thing? I'm like, no, we cannot get rid of my old Nintendo Power articles. I still have them. So yeah, no, it's very, very cool. Your network has played almost all those games. I love it. So from Segatari Power, I think, Diamond, are you down if we want to talk about the ELO DLCs?
Yes.
Okay. Very cool.
S tier. There we go. The answer has been given. S tier.
No.
Joking. Joke. I joke.
No. Okay. There is a delineation. There are a few of these that are really good, and there are a few of these that are There's...
Don't worry, James. Nothing personal.
Not at all. I mean, obviously, I wrote a whole gig. I've written one, and I'm writing 2 that uses this as backdrop.
And so, I'm writing one as well.
Yeah. Like, clearly, it's not a bad thing. So the base ELO DLC, I would be willing to put this probably at A tier.
Yeah.
I think it's either A or B. It's low A, high B, pretty easily for me.
I'd say if we're being graceful to the first one, I'd say low A.
Yeah.
For the simple fact that like it adds this extra layer. Like before expansion pack 1 even came out, it added this extra layer to the games as is.
Yes.
That you could go on adventures when you're with your party without perhaps you guys are shutting in for some time.
Yeah.
You have something else that you can do instead of sit around with your thumbs up your butts.
Yep. Now, ELO at the start here, very good. Very, very good.
Yeah.
The one thing that's missing from it that we do get in one of the later DLCs, but that made this less user-friendly than it could have been, is the fact that it was missing a good, reliable way to make monsters in this.
Yep.
And that was not great. They did kind of tell you, like, hey, you could just use the booster ganger and then flip these things and call it this and you're good. And they're not wrong. Like, that does work. So I guess to do these in the order they released in, ELO expansion pack 1. I'm going C tier with it.
It's very lore. It's very lore.
It's very lore. It's very lore, and its Roll20 lists are kind of eh. Like, they're good if you need a background of ELO players that work in the city. But that is quite literally all it's good for. It does nearly nothing else for the game. Like, I would almost actually be willing to put this in D tier, because it's actually less useful than the ones we have in C tier. Like, it's not F tier. It doesn't fail at what it set out to do, but I would put it in D tier probably. It's just not a very functional one.
D tier is the one thing that the expansion pack does bring is the pre-generated elves.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say that is it's like having all the lore and then also the pre-gens.
That's
the pre-gens
save
are
it.
Yeah.
The pre-gens save it. I forgot that those are in that, not the next one.
All right.
So that is C tier. Yeah. The pre-gens save it. If the pre-gens weren't there, it'd be D tier. But the pre-gens are really nice.
So next one, I think
Derek Seiler's. Yeah.
Honestly, I want to give this one, actually, I know it's not very like mechanically heavy, but because of what it does provide, and it helped me actually run one of my first games over on Cybernation Uncensored, because it kind of gives you the whole story of Elflines Online up to that next expansion, and monster stat blocks. I want to give this one actually an S tier.
Ooh, that's spicy.
It gives you a whole sub campaign on top of your current Cyberpunk campaign.
How do I feel about that? You know what?
I could beat you at A. I could beat you at A.
No. I think I'm meeting you at S because it
also has the map.
Yeah,
the map came with this one as well.
The only reason I was going to put it in A is because the original DLC itself was in A, and if the expansion of that is better than the original content, something feels weird about that, because you need one to run the other. However, I would agree that it is probably one of the most efficient packages of content we've ever gotten in Cyberpunk, because it very much says, we're not going to tell you what the adventure is, but if you wanted to do it, this is how you would do it, and just gives you a full roadmap. And then you took the challenge and did it. So like, the monsters thing in here too is really, really nice.
Reading Derek Seiler's guide, I can kind of hear like James, like a lot of like what James writes for ELO. You can hear it through the voice of Derek. I can hear it through the voice of James when looking at this one. It's like, this is very James coded, and it is. It is a love letter to James's time in MMOs.
And I do like this DLC quite a lot. When I was writing Pay to Win, even, like, there was a lot of stuff that I dragged out of this specific DLC
Mm-hmm.
that was incredibly useful. So yeah, I could see it going to S, because the bestiary on top of all that, it's like literally just icing on icing on icing. It's very, very, very good.
Yeah, and also just a fully drawn out map. Very
Yeah.
nice.
Maps are always cool, but now we get to the
favorite.
literally. All right, this is where I'm about to give my controversial opinion. I think the TCG is S tier too.
It is S tier.
I think
the TCG is S tier. We get goofy weapons, a whole mini game that really appeals to nerds. Go ahead, keep going.
Because here's the thing: most mini games in this game are complicated, right? Like mini, doing any kind of mini game like stickball or roller derby. There's a lot you have to like keep in mind and like run when you do that. ELO's TCG is just quite literally, here are the way your cards work. And it's like you could explain it in one page, and it's once you've run it once or twice, it's like back of your hand easy to like just run it. You don't have to be referencing hardly anything ever. Like the sole thing you have to constantly reference is what your face cards do, because they're like spell cards. But other than that, it's literally like you run it like the back of your hand. It added gambling mechanics. Yeah, the gambling cheating is like the nugget in this thing that most people miss. Yeah. And that's where they're like, I want to go play poker, but there's no rules for poker in the game. I'm like, do you have a deck of cards? Cool. Do you want to know how to cheat? Look at this DLC and they'll tell you how to cheat at the game. Like, congratulations, you poker. Like,
man, who brought up that? Man, wow. Yeah. They sound like they have no idea what they're doing. They should not be GMing Cyberpunk. Good gods. They should go, turn their books back in or something. Anyway, but also the goofy weapons in there. I love the goofy weapons.
Yeah.
Including the Rate of Fire 3 medium pistol.
The dual disc is funny as fuck. Yeah, what do they call it something else, but yeah, it's basically a dual disc. Battlecaster, there it is. Yeah, the dual disc is funny. I like the dual disc a lot. There's some tech upgrade shit you can do with that's just funny as fuck. So then last but certainly not least by a long shot.
I've been looking forward to this one.
Magic Returns, which
we got to showcase this
one. The podcast got a real rare honor with this one, which is that we got to demo this on stream live and showcase it before the layout was even done. That was really, really cool. Mm-hmm. I would give this a solid A tier.
Yes.
And the reason for that is you're not going to use the bulk of this DLC if you are not playing ELO. If you do play ELO, this is a lot of content that it adds to your game and like layers it deep. It's got some really good commentary in there from James about the state of AI in creative fields. The really important thing it adds, though, more than anything else, is it gives us a stat block for rogue AI. And
gonks.
And kind of gives us the base rules for gonks if you
cannon fodder
want to use those outside of things. Yeah, there is that too. The big thing for me is the rogue AI thing, because that is a layer of the net that we have gotten very little detail on. So having that stat block there to say, this is what a high level rogue AI from Beyond the Black Wall looks like is just beautiful. It is very important. The TCG can be updated to the Magic Returns. It kind of can, yeah. Like, it's very, very good. Magic Returns is it kind of expands the hyper capitalism at the heart of gacha games, which I have fallen for very recently. It is very much expanding upon the way ELO is to be played. Overall, very solid game expansion. I am a big fan of this one. So from there, Where do we want to go next?
All right, so this next one, written by Anjali and Druddercup. Did somebody say murder? This one's a good tool to have.
Yeah.
It's on. It helps you put investigations in front of parties where investigations may not be their strong suit, where it's very much the party is completing actions to count down a score to resolving mysteries. I remember one of our fellow players, Tito, was not the biggest fan of this because it really does take away from like actual investigative gameplay, which I can fully understand. This one's kind of a very middle of the road. It's all right. Like,
I think I would put it at B tier because like it is a useful extrapolation of the investigation process for tables that need one. It is wholly unnecessary for tables that are actually engaged with solving mysteries and problems on their own.
Yes.
I think B is a good middle for it because like there are some tables for which there's going to be an F tier supplement because you just never use it. I'm a table where we generally don't use this. I've never once actually used the rules from this.
I've used it
to the point that I would need to go back and review it if we ever needed to use it. But yeah, it is useful. It is a good thing to have. It's another bit of that modularity, like what breaking your stuff does, where if you want to add a layer, you're going to add a layer and it doesn't feel like bad. It's not the best. Certainly not the worst. Far from the worst. Let's talk about dating in the dark future.
I love this one. I love it a lot.
I like this one a lot. I would put it in B tier.
Yes.
It is not particularly groundbreaking or impactful, but it's another bit of modularity. I've seen this used as a hook by James Hutt himself when I got to play in a game at Gen Con he was running. And that brought me nothing but joy to be able to sit at that table and watch as he used this thing. It was really, really well done.
The way I like to use this one, just so all party members get involved here, is just like, okay, so you got a match. Great. All right, party members. I'm going to have you roll me a D10. I'm going to have you roll me a D10. I'm going to have you roll me a D10. And we're going to see how tonight's date goes.
Right.
I love adding that, but it's also a great character generator as well. Right. It is really good at creating like friendly NPCs.
Yeah, there's a lot of
friendly ones either.
There's a lot of really good stuff you can do with this one that goes beyond just player usage. As a GM tool, it's another one. There's a GM tool that really does do some fantastic stuff. But it's not as impactful as some of the stuff we have in A tier. It is a B tier. It's like definitionally, I think, the prototypical B tier.
Yeah.
Everyday people.
So this one really provides like a nice idea of like what the average Chumba is going to look like on the street.
Yeah.
Now, given like in the sense of like combat, you're probably not going to be using this one, but it's nice to have this for like, okay, what would like somebody of like, you know, like a rank 2 fixer look like, you know, that's out on the street, or a rank 2 rocker boy. Like it shows like what a rank 2 of all the roles would look like.
I give it
variance.
I would give it
A.
Solid A. I'm like almost on the fence of S a little with it, because like there are some genuinely like, it's not game changing, but just having a prototypical you have a fixer in your neighborhood who deals shit at the local night market and are, you know, they're the one you usually go to like bargain with when you get something new in. Just having a fixer stat block that fills that niche so that you have the trade ranks and stuff to roll against and not have to like guesstimate that on the fly is so nice. But yeah, I think it's A. I think it's pretty much A.
Yeah. And also on top of that, it does introduce new, really insignificant little pieces of gear, but it's just like, oh, that's a thing. Okay.
Yeah. No, it's, yeah. Going quiet, S tier.
S tier.
S tier. That
Stealth
thing is
net running alone. Just
stealth
like
stealth
we needed
net
that
running.
for years.
Oh my god, stealth net running is so good, and a lot of the gear in here is just really unique and really powerful. Like this was Merc level play stuff before we got Merc level play. That's kind of how this feels half the time. Is it's very Merc coded without it being pure Merc. And that is very, very cool.
It is very much the professional heist cruise toolkit.
Yeah. So next in the order here, Halloween Scream Sheets.
So Melissa Wong wrote the 3 adventures for Halloween of 2023, I think. 22 or 23.
I want to say 23 sounds right. I believe it was after Danger came out.
These adventures, they're good, fun, like 2 of them are like a couple of nice, fun little fluff adventures to toss your party into between other horrible things that you might toss at them. You know, oh yeah, we're off to go find a little bandit.
Yeah.
What do you mean students have been going missing on campus?
That one is really fun, especially if you've played Cyberpunk 2077. Because it plays with some of the similar ideas. That particular adventure.
B.
I think I put this in B.
I want to put it.
Yeah, like because the adventures are fun.
Werewolf and Watson is good.
Yeah, the adventures are fun. My only issue with most of these actually is that, and I was talking about this I think last week when we had our podcast. Is
they would have benefited from full length.
Yes, like these were adventures that wanted to be full length adventures and not scream sheets, and they needed they need that extra bit of oomph because they want for it. We just don't get it, and it's weird that we didn't get it. So yeah, I think they're very serviceable, but you do have to put in some legwork as a GM. That I think if they had just written these as full adventures, we would not have the problem.
Yeah.
So the next one I believe is Hardened Lieutenants. So we have, and I think we can kind of sort all the hardened stuff here, right?
Yeah.
Mini bosses, nukes, and lieutenants.
Well, technically, yes, they are a form of game support. They bring something different to the table that, like, I did want to actually tier these ones.
I could agree with that.
So, like, mooks and lieutenants, I feel those two kind of fall under the same category. They don't bring anything, like, extremely new to the table, but they just kind of, you know, beef up your opponents for combat. I put those two at, like, C tier.
I would put them in B, probably.
B?
They're not incredible, but they do have some novel ideas at the start for how to beef up your enemies without beefing up your enemies. So to speak, right? Like not adding extra stats or whatever to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's worth it. I think like as a GM tool, these are things you are, if you don't have Danger Girl Dossier especially, this is something you're going to look at a lot.
The mini bosses though, compared to the mooks and lieutenants, which it's just all the standard ones from the book.
Yeah.
The mini bosses also offers a variety of different opponents.
Yeah.
That have different approaches.
Yep.
And I want to put this one at A tier.
I think that's A. Yeah. No, like it does what the others do and then some, and that was really important for this one. Because it did, in a time before we had Danger Girl Dossier and really clearly defined other characters, this, or rules even for how to make our own, this did give us some of that variety that was lacking previously, and I do dig that. Big fan of that one. I kind of want to skip over Hope Reborn Plus
for now.
Just for now, and move to the next one. Hornet's Pharmacy.
I love this one.
I think A tier. I think A tier.
Like between the drone, the little murder drone, all the various compounds and drugs, it gave something to medtechs and techs that they've been looking for.
Yeah, it expanded medtechs pharmaceutical skill a little more too. Like you now have an interrogation med tech because of this DLC, which is just a very cool thing. Basically, it opens a whole new window of play for them. So yeah, I think A tier is a good spot for it because it's not like, is it crazy groundbreaking? No, but it definitely gave us a couple new things that are worth the time.
And also, it's Hornet. Hornet's cool.
Yeah. Hot Pursuit.
A tier. B tier?
No. I'm debating S tier on this one.
Oh really? Okay.
I think actually I'm gonna go S tier with this one. Because I really
love it.
Here's my rationale. Yeah. It's S tier because before this came out, we did not have proper rules for resolving chases. And this literally makes it so that we can run that shit, right? And it is a very... There are whole beats of certain missions that are made better for us having this material.
Yes.
And it is, like, literally right now, like, during the break, we talked about this briefly. This is kind of our showing this in the middle of our episode so that we can have this in the recording. Diamond and I at Gen Con just got the go-ahead to each run a gig of our own as kind of celebrities-ish. Internet celebrities that are part of the broader community here. To run those at Gen Con at our Talsorian's employee table, essentially. So Thursday of Gen Con, we are both running our gigs. She is running in the afternoon. I'll be running in the evening. I am going to be featuring my new adventure that I've been working on for the last like 6 or 7 months. A Sinking Feeling. And there is a whole beat of that adventure that is a chase. And that chase is like really, really cool for the broader scope of that adventure. I could not do that without this DLC. Straight up. Like,
and then my adventure card heist may also involve a chase depending on how the adventure ends as well.
Yeah. I really, really dig this DLC because it just is it's a very good enabler for everything else. So let's skip the listen ups for right now just because those are also kind of a weird spot.
Okay.
Because I want to kind of burn through the ones that we can do more quickly.
Absolutely.
Mixing drinks, changing lives.
2024's April Fools with Jay Gray and the folks of Valhalla. This includes a bunch of stat blocks and like full size stat blocks and also just like smaller like basic like profiles on people, not full flat. It could have really benefited from like maybe the slim down stat blocks for like some of the NPCs, but
I don't know if I'd go that far because what they've done there I think is actually pretty novel and nice. Is it says
flexibility.
We aren't going to give you a full stat block for this character because we don't want to define them that tightly. But if you wanted to make your own stat block for them, this is the guidance we'd recommend. And I think that that's useful guidance in a lot of ways.
Some of them I feel like benefit from everyday people. Now that we have everyday people.
Yeah, some of that would. The gear in it's very good. Yes.
The gear is fantastic.
Yeah.
And there's 2 pieces of gear I see that keep popping up again and again.
Yeah.
That's the Signal Jammer and the Vic Jammer.
Yeah. I would be willing to go as far as to say A tier on this one. Because
absolutely A tier.
It does have a lot of really good stuff. And as a crossover, it serves a very well-designed purpose.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'd say A tier. Must have cyberware deals.
I think, let alone for what this thing is, where it is really cheesy as seen on TV stuff, it serves its purpose really well.
This one is another one of those GM set dressing in a lot of cases. Though I have seen players take stuff from this and use it to pretty decent effect, like the hollow
cyber
palm.
pillow.
No, the hollow palm.
The hollow
palm is one that I've seen like because my one player who has an internal agent's like, well, how do I show the rest of the party what I'm looking at? And they just use the holopalm for that. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Like, that's such a unique way to do it. They're a fixer too, so it's like they can display something, be like, and this is why you want to do this deal with me, kind of thing. Like,
and I mean, some of this stuff also provides like other bonuses, like leads turn on, show off nails, counting as a light tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this had a lot of like light tattoo supplements. Kill count is fun.
Sponsored covering is fun. Where's the appetite? Appetite controller. That's what it's called.
That's what it's called.
Keeps you from starving.
Yeah, I truly think that this is A tier. It's one that a lot of people I think would rate lower than that, because they're like, no one's gonna use this shit. But I'm like, no, you're missing. Yeah, I think it's A tier, because I'm like, I think the things in here that are genuinely useful, you're gonna use them. The ones that aren't are good plot hooks, and they're good GM set dressing. So I think it serves a dual purpose that way.
And for Willie Mays' first introduction into the franchise, it was a very good one. Yeah. Also, Cyber Pillow has become a fun stealth weapon that people use as well.
Yeah. No, like there's a lot of fun stuff in that, and I dig it.
Let's see, what do I got here? Night City Atlas.
Night City Atlas.
But it does provide a lot of locations and lore. It's a very everything in one spot.
It's really hard, because if I were to give it a rating, I would say A tier just for like defining everything, but I do think game support's probably a better place for it, because it is largely just here's where things are at.
Night City Tarot.
Night City Tarot S tier. This is such a good DLC. Such a good DLC.
As a tarot reader, I'm happy to see it show up. And also, because of some of the effects it gives, it just makes for some of the best encounters.
Yeah, it really is a fun one to throw at your players and like incorporate into your game. Just because I usually refer to them in nearly the same sentence. Where is... there it is. Night City Weather. Oh, and it's the next one. Even better.
Yep.
Night City Weather, I would say...
I really like this one.
I put it in A, probably. It's not gonna change your game a ton, but it does add some interesting layers, and it creates
environmental hazards are great.
Well, and it adds some modularity too, in terms of like, do you want to care about the temperature outside? If you do, here's how you resolve them. If you don't, oh well, you don't care. Like, don't use it. Like, I usually don't go for the temp stuff. I'm just like, whatever. But for the like weather stuff that can happen and the weather effects, very fun, very cool. Lets you have a reminder almost in your own like cadence of doing things about like doing weather stuff, and like remembering that is an important setting piece that you need to keep in mind and do something with it. No Place Like Home, I believe, is the next one.
S tier.
S tier. I agree. I completely agree. Yep, that's an S tier.
It provides a level of accessibility that the players need to certain kinds of pieces of equipment that we just haven't had until now. Like, you could just get a car for the crew,
right?
By getting points for the garage,
right? Yeah, I mean, and there's just HQs are such a great inclusion because it does create. It's another thing. DLC that inspires player innovation and like gameplay style that you normally wouldn't get out of them. So yeah, I would say S tier, absolutely, all the way. What's this next one here?
Nomad Presents Radio.
Oh, NPR. Okay.
It's really good lore, and plus the audio bites that came with it that Rob recorded are fantastic.
They are
but it's for all the pre-written adventures. So, I mean, C tier is kind of like...
Yeah, I think C tier, because it's not a bad thing at all to have that. I just feel like it does very little if you're running anything at your own table outside of like... In some cases, I would almost argue it suffers from creating a Mercer-like effect in that.
What's that?
So the Mercer effect is when Critical Role got really popular. Everyone who wanted to try D&D became disappointed when the average GM wasn't Matt Mercer and capable of doing the things that Matt Mercer did.
Okay.
And so it created this, like, Critical Role created inadvertently, like, it wasn't their goal to do this, but they inadvertently, by going as whole hog as they did about their sets and their presentation and everything, they created this weird expectation that I still to this day disagree players should have had, but all the same, it was created, that would be the average D&D experience. And that isn't true. It's not true at all. And I think one of the things that things like Scream Sheet handouts and NPR do that can sort of flirt with that line is creating things like this, as someone who does it on a weekly basis, is not easy. It is not something you do haphazardly. It's not something you do with little preparation or thinking. And it does require knowledge and skills that not everyone is going to have. Scream Sheets kind of fall the same way with this. Like, it's not something that just anyone can do to edit, like, a layout or something like that, to, like, make their own Scream Sheets. I can, because I studied in school for it. The same with recording things. Like, I studied school for it. But, I have a background. That's the only reason I'm, like, able to do some of these things.
I guess for me, like, when I look at it, especially if you're running, like, a Street Story / Hope Reborn-esque campaign where you use some of the pre-written materials, it is just something that can be injected into the world of, like, hey, this is how people learn about you doing that thing.
Yeah. Well, and that is one of those things where, like, it's cool. It's a cool layer. Yeah. I like the layer. I don't want players at a table to feel like that's always going to be a thing that gets injected.
I could understand D. I can definitely, if you were going to say D tier, I could see D tier. If that's kind of where you were thinking.
It's not, see, but the thing is, I don't know.
Because, like,
I don't know. It's low C, high D if it is D tier. I
mean, it's probably on par with Cyber Chairs, where, like, there's nothing wrong with it, but, like, I could see where, you know, maybe it's got limited reach.
Yeah. Like, it's a cool idea. It's a cool idea, and it expands the media presence of Night City in terms of, like, what's there. And as, like, a more or less sneak preview into some of the stuff we might get
shows
out
the radio
of
stations.
Well, and it might serve as a sneak preview of what we get in Night City 2045 when that comes out, in terms of, like, here's some of these supplemental stuff. Like, as a sneak peek of that, it's kind of neat because it's like a fit on to the old stuff. But yeah, it's not my favorite thing, and I don't dig the false expectation it can set up for players if they expect the GM to always kind of have that sort of stuff able to be pulled out of pocket.
So down to D, probably.
I'm still on the fence, but I think putting it in D doesn't feel wrong, so I'll put it there. Yeah. Red Chrome Cargo is S tier.
S tier. Absolute banger adventure.
Yeah, like one of the best Scream Sheets we've ever gotten. It earns its Scream Sheet length. It doesn't need the structure of a normal gig. It is a great intro adventure for new players, and it's got something for every role to do if they're on that gig. It's S tier. Rocker Boy Index.
It's lore.
It is,
and it does provide, like, you know, a flavor of, like, what kind of music you might be hearing at various clubs. But outside that, doesn't really provide like much else to the game. So if we're looking at like lore and like people, I would put it like in line with Elfline's expansion pack 1. If we're kind of looking at it from that kind of point of view.
Yeah, yeah, C tier is probably where it sits, because like it is good to have those rule tables for like what's playing in the bar. It's another kind of Night City weather-ish thing where it's like, let's not forget that layer. The impact is lesser, so yeah, C feels about right for it. So next up, Salvaging Night City.
This poor DLC. I really wanted it. I had hopes for this. I did, but no. It's an F tier for me, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why?
There is better things you could do with your week of downtime than scrounging up 100 eddies worth of junk. Like, literally every time I've had a tech, it's like, yeah, I want to use Salvaging Night City. No, I don't think I ever want to do that again. Like, it's always been like, they do it once and that's it. Because you're better off, you'd be better off doing other shit on your downtime, because there's a chance you get hurt also on top of all this stuff. And it's just like, why would I run that risk?
Sure.
And you don't really find like top tier stuff unless you roll like a DV 21 or 24.
That is true. It's a really bitter pill to swallow, putting that in F tier, but when you put it like that, I don't disagree with any of the points you're making.
What's your argument for higher?
My argument for higher is that it creates mission frameworks in a way, but as a downtime activity, which is how it's framed, like raw, it is F tier. I would agree. It doesn't do its job great in any way, shape, or form, and it just creates more time sinks for your tech, and they already have plenty as it is. As a using it, the spirit of it as framework for gigs, very cool. I would say it serves a better purpose as a framework than as a rule set. As a rule set, I agree it pretty much sucks, because that's kind of where you and I are talking on the same page. It's where I could like when you say that, because I'm like, oh, I would probably rate that, I don't know, like a C tier at first, and then you said all that, and I'm like, but she right though. Like it is pretty dog shit when you look at it like that.
And Oscar, I understand that, you know, field expertise adds to it, but every tech I've come to is just like, no, I'm not doing that again. I could really spend my time elsewhere, especially now that Workshop is out. Well, and No Place Like Home.
And Oscar, to put it to you this way, right? If a tech is going to look for something that is destroyed, the DV should be easier than making it. And they aren't. They're harder than making it, and they're finding it destroyed. So they still need to put time into repairing it. And so at that point, you might as well have just made it.
Why would I find a 100 eddy destroyed item when I could spend $50 and have it made in a day?
Right.
Instead of spending a week.
Yeah, there
was an idea here.
Yes.
It's underbaked.
It is underbaked.
I don't like being harsh. I don't.
It's not harsh though. I think that pointing out that this is just a bad low efficiency system that really fucking sucks when you apply it as written. I don't disagree. Like, again, as like a spirit and a framework to get other things injected into your campaign, very cool idea. Very poorly executed. I would agree with that 100%. Scream sheet generator.
It's a tool.
Would we file
game
this
support?
I would file this. Yeah, I could see filing this under game support.
Like, I mean, if it was like, you know, something that the media was using, I mean,
It doesn't really add anything.
It's very game support.
It is very game support. I think I'm cool with filing that into game support. Yeah.
Oh, seeing double.
Seeing double.
I read it.
Yeah.
I would say A tier. It is definitely A tier.
Because I think
I'm not going to say much more because I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, it introduces, like, the concepts I will talk about. It introduces the idea of like unique variant weapons that are beyond just an exotic.
Yes.
And that is very cool. And it is another Merc level mission in addition to the 2 we get in Solo Fortune. So
and it's in Korea.
Yeah, I mean, that's the setting is what it is. I don't know if that really like adds or detracts from anything, but the layout's very cool, and it does a good job of, again, just like expanding our understanding of like this is what a Merc level gig should look like when added on top of the 2 we got in the actual article with SOF. Was this single player mode? Oh, single mode.
This is single player mode.
Plus,
honestly,
right?
Yeah. Single player mode plus. Honestly, all the roll tables are just really good in here that single player mode plus provides anybody.
Yeah, I'm on the fence between
B tier.
No, I'm on the upper fence. I'm on A or S. Because
I can meet you halfway at A.
A probably is right for it because it's not enough new stuff, but there are a few things in there like scatter tables and stuff that really
I love the bounce table on it.
The bounce table is really useful. The Oracle stuff that you can do with single player mode in general is really, really good. So A's probably appropriate for it. It does a lot of good work. What did they end up calling this one?
So you missed Gen Con.
So you missed Gen Con 2040 or 2025.
I had this one. Yeah. I had this one sent directly to me, so it's a little bit of a fucking thorn. You know who you are who sent that. Don't do that again, but ouch. Anyway, honestly, all the adventures that are introduced in here, bangers. Most of them, bangers. Especially Cleanup Crew.
There's like one in this whole that is kind of but it's like one B tier adventure in a cluster of S tier things to have for, like, if you're trying to teach new players, there are demos in here. If you're trying to run a really exciting one shot for like a 4-hour game, we have those. If you're trying to do something extra with the CEMK, we have some. Like there's a lot in there for everybody. And it's one of those things where, like, as a media who regularly attends Gen Con, it's always a little bit like, man, I feel bad talking about this because on one hand, yes, it was done at a public convention. Yes, we can talk about it, and that's fine. There's always that weird line, though, of just like, man, I really wish that I could like get the source material and republish it so that other people could run it. And Jay solved that problem for us this year, which is very, very cool.
Honestly, I will put the thorn aside here. I would put this one at A, to be honest.
I would put it at S, honestly.
Because of what it is,
Because of what it is, and the fact that we have 1-hour combat demos in there as part of this.
Yes.
This is a good education tool for like new groups to learn things and not have the stress of a real combat or anything like that. It recontextualizes some of those rules and stuff in a way that's very, very helpful. Spinning your wheels.
This one, I remember this was one I woke up like in the middle of the night and I'm like, what? And Spinning Your Wheels showed up, and it's just like, this one, I like that there's other forms of mobility, especially for like really early edge runners if you don't have a nomad. And just some of the goofy shit that I've seen edge runners do with that. Just, it's a great time. It's nothing like too over the top groundbreaking, but it does provide like quote unquote vehicles. B tier.
I think A tier. I think I could see
A tier.
A tier.
All right.
Because it's it's a transport option, and there's a lot of options in there. And again, we layer a reality of life. Like inevitably, people are going to have bicycles or boards of some kind, and it gives us rules for running those. Because they are a little different than traditional vehicles in general, so it does need its own rule set. We get it with this. So, like, I'd say A tier is appropriate for it.
This caused me to meet an athlete reskin of a solo named Timmy Eagle at one of my tables. So, great time.
So what's the next one here? This one
Let's see. I got that's Street Stories Plus.
Street Stories Plus.
Provides stat blocks that were needed. Stream sheets and maps. I
would put this in like C tier.
Yeah, it's like it's nice to have it. Definitely like in line with Danger Gal Dossier Plus.
As like a standalone DLC, it doesn't do anything, but as a add-on to its book, it's very useful.
Yeah.
And I'd honestly, we can talk about Hope Reborn Plus on the back of that. I'd probably put it in the same tier. Probably put like C tier.
Hope Reborn Plus. Hope Reborn Plus is where the bios and specific locations and Grace's guitar comes in.
Yeah. So I'd say C. Yeah, C tier feels great.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, like I found myself using Hope Reborn Plus far less than I used Street Stories Plus. So there's like almost this weird inclination I have to put it in D, but that doesn't feel right. I think what we get in there is needed if you have the book, but otherwise it's any other Plus DLC that way, right? Yeah. Where it's like it's not great without its core book. What is this? The Dreaded Punk Knot, I believe is the
Dreaded Punk Knot. I want to see this in a campaign at some point. It's just the time sink that it is. Like, if you want this to be a focal point of your campaign, yes.
Yeah.
It's good. It is very fun. It is very fun for what it is, but it does require a tech. You must have a tech with you for this one.
Yeah.
So the fact that it does lock you to needing a tech,
I'm hovering between B and C tier.
I kind of want to go towards B because like what it can do for you and your party, and like
I want to put it in C just because of how hard it is to use.
Because it also because of the roll lock on it especially.
It's pretty challenging to use it, and this would have benefited. So this DLC will benefit. I would think if ever we get an adventure where Punk Knot construction or a Punk Knot is an element of a combat in a meaningful way. But because it was released so long ago, we've still yet to see that. I have a hard time really evaluating it outside of the fact that utilizing this as a crew making one is a pain in the ass, and it's not really a worthwhile pain in the ass.
Toggle's Temple.
S tier.
Artel's note to the community. Here's your branded weapons. Please leave us be.
S tier.
And also Toggle.
S tier.
Like, Toggle is... I want more Toggle.
Deadpool coded as fuck. S tier.
The Dolphins.
Yeah, like, it's hard to say Toggles is anything other than S tier, because, like, there's so many good, unique weapons in this, as well as just giving us, like, literally infinite gun. You can just make whatever gun you want now.
Yes.
And it's far less convoluted than Old Guns Never Die. There's a reason Old Guns is in game support, because it literally does nothing new. And Toggles is able to be rated because it is an S tier thing that adds a bunch of new shit to
and it also adds a new location where you can just sample weapons.
Yeah, like...
Yeah. Speaking of weapons, Wood Chipper's Garage.
I want to put this in B, personally.
B, okay.
B,
all right.
I would put it in B. My argument, my reasoning is literally it only supports heavy weapons. And while that is good, it's good to have a variety of heavy weapons. I feel like it's overlooked far too often because heavy weapons just aren't particularly great.
Yeah, this one came out, I think, a little bit after 12 Days of Gunmas to give heavy weapon users more stuff to play with, because really heavy weapons got no support until that point.
We forgot a DLC here, Diamond.
Where's Midnight with the...
Yeah.
Gang, one sec. I'll find it real quick.
Yeah, we'll fix that.
All right, yeah, I'll fix it. How could I fucking forget Midnight with the guys?
I don't even know. We're literally the Wireheads podcast that is our most significant DLC.
I know. All right.
That is literally the most important one.
All right, where are you at, you four-eyed freak?
So while she finds that, I suppose let's talk about your new best friend. Your new best friend is I feel like an A tier DLC, personally.
I could go for I could go for A tier.
I think having cyber pets and like cybered animals in general, it adds a little bit of that, like the biological element of the game that we know is there because Biotechnica is fucking with shit all the time. We know that that's a part of this, but we got nothing in the core rulebook, and nothing in anything supplement wise until this came out. And then this, like, truly this expanded, like, design space for creatives, I think. Having just the rules alone is, like, really, really, really cool stuff. To the point that I might be including something along these lines in a sinking feeling. Like that utilizes elements of this rule. So, yeah. Very, very cool. Just wish it came with a big, with, what am I reading here? Just wish it came with biopets so you could cyber them. Oh, cyber them out from the start yourself. Oh, base biopets. Okay, that's what I'm seeing there. Okay, so base biopets. I mean, you get close enough, more or less, because like Data Rat, you know, like those, that is something where like Cyber Rat and Data Rabbits are like pretty easy to suss out. Like this is probably what their base stats would be, and then to modify them accordingly. Yeah, because I don't think any of the things that they have in them cyber wise change their core stats or anything.
Should be updated.
There it is.
Yeah, I would put, yeah, so Wood Chipper B tier, Wood Chipper's Garage is B tier, which I can understand with heavy weapons. Your new best friend, Cyber Pet's definitely A tier. It provides just that different level of play, and also gives animal handling a reason to exist.
Yeah, and that I think is like, again, whenever you expand a layer well to the game, it's very much, it's hard to say it's not at least A tier. You have to do it well, but if you do it well, then yeah, it's hard to say it's not A tier. Midnight with the upload.
The hardware in it makes it just really good out the gate. Like,
it's pretty, yeah.
It's really good. Also, the variety of cyber decks.
Yeah.
Like, some of my favorite cyber decks to use are, well, like, favorite builds for cyber decks are out of Midnight with the upload.
Yeah, I would say probably A tier.
A tier?
I'd say A tier. Because, like there's... It feels
like it's missing something.
Well, it's a DLC. Here's my thing with Midnight with the upload. That is, like, it makes it a little harder to rate. Because it's somewhere between A and B. The only thing that would make me push it to B is a strong enough argument claiming that we are missing something from it. Because I thought we were at one point. It feels like we are at one point. And yet, looking at it, thinking about it, studying it, understanding what we do get in it, and how all of that shit interacts with the existing net running system, makes it really hard to put a finger on what is missing. Because we get a bunch of expanded stuff in there. And we get cyber decks that have been tech upgraded in different ways to show us, like, this is what you could do with tech upgrades. So even if we didn't give it to you in this as a stock item, you can just as easily take a regular cyber deck and tech upgrade it in some novel way that makes it as good as, if not better than, some of the stuff presented here. Like, so it's, again, it's like, it's hard to say that there's anything truly missing. We're missing more programs. Like, what? But again, it's like, which programs? Like,
what more could you need?
Other than, like, boosters for stuff that really would be broken to have boosters, like boosters for slide or something like that. Like, we're missing, the most we are missing are boosters that boost certain actions that don't have boosters right now. So that would be things like your slide check, your control
slide
check, like, but those are incredibly powerful actions by themselves. Virus is another one, incredibly powerful action. So it's almost arguable that you wouldn't want to ever create a booster for that unless the booster was going to cost you like 500 or 1,000 eddies per use. And then you have to pay for that and source it again if it gets blown up by something like a killer. So like that's where I would almost argue, like, I don't know that we really need more programs. Like, yeah. This is gonna be the tier is gonna need to be updated once we release the month's DLC. Yeah, maybe. We usually talk about what we think about it on the. So like after hearing this, hopefully you can understand roughly where we'd place it, because we're giving a pretty dense rationale of why. But yeah, I don't know, Diamond. What do you think? A tier midnight with the upload, or would you rate it different?
Midnight with the upload. There's no way I could push it up to S. It's very much an A tier for me.
Yeah, it feels pretty comfy at A, and it does enough that I don't feel like it's deserving of a lower tier. Because it does fill out Netrunner pretty nicely. And like, because even when I examine the thought space of like, oh man, well if I could get a program for my Netrunner, what would I want for that program to do? And it just doesn't. I don't get an answer that is satisfying to me.
I think more on the hardware side of like, what else could I possibly add? Like, what kind of hardware could I make that could fill in the gaps?
Well, and again, it's like, you almost don't want to define that space. You want to leave that up to the tech, because it should involve time. It should involve creativity. It should do all those things. Yeah. So, and I agree. Like, you ain't good as a Netrunner, but I've seen what Netrunner programs looked like in 2020, and it was like 3 or 4 different programs doing the same thing half the time. So like, you had a lot of stuff that didn't meaningfully differ from one another, and that's the problem with it. Is like, so until we get some kind of 3D net running rules in Red, where you're not doing this 2D slide down an elevator, where that might matter more, I don't really think we need more programs right now. Or if we do want more programs, like if you as a Netrunner feel something is missing, you want to enhance your thing that way, get a server room or get a tech and make them, and that solves your problem. But I think the more defined net running is, there's actually a limitation on creativity that it places beyond the point that we're at right now. So we are well over time, but we've got 2 left, and then we are done.
Yeah.
So Diamond, the Listen Up DLCs.
Okay, so I'm surprised we have not seen more of these come out, but we have Listen Up with John the Wise and Listen Up with Rob Mulligan. Basically, this is where Artal had both John and Rob Mulligan, who have been longtime creators in the space, give their advice on GMing. Now, the advice in here is very sound. There is some great input, especially for new GMs, on how to write, like, how to make an adventure cyberpunk, how to, give your session that extra flair that it needs.
Sure.
And also, like, what, like, how to add the important details. Now, Listen Up with the Wire. You're gonna have to take Artal up. You'll have to take that up with Artal.
You're specifically with Jay Gray.
No.
Specifically Jay Gray. I've made them aware. Like, guys, why haven't we seen more Listen Up DLCs? Because we're not the only other creators in this space. There are plenty of cyberpunk creators at this point.
I think when asked, Jay said that was there for when they didn't have something.
Right. I just think that's I think that's a pretty lame answer, if I'm being completely transparent about it. Like, no shade to Jay, but I just feel like that's a poor answer. That's like, well, we only do this when we don't have anything else. It's like, but by doing that, you give your community a spotlight, and that's an important thing. I think that's... Yeah. There should be more spotlights. There should be one for Jesper. There should be one... I would argue, like, there should be one for just about every, like... relatively like reputable creator within the space that like he has interacted with in the broader space of the game. Just my opinion. Like, it's not so much coming from a place of like, I wish I had my own or whatever. Yeah. It is literally coming from, I think the community deserves more spotlighting.
I would like to see that, see like what other creators have to say, like, actually on official paper. But there are some rules from here that I use at my table. So John the Wise's DLC offers like the three goon method, like 3 different groups of for a little bit of a tougher encounter, like what to throw at the party. We also have which that's kind of like, that was mooks before we had rules to make mooks. John produced the mook making rules.
Yeah, a little bit.
That I used for a time. No death saves for mooks. I use this rule from John all the time, just to, like, yeah, no.
Well, and even Artal has kind of affirmed that is the right way to do it most of the time when you're dealing with mooks.
There's the excessive damage stun saves. That is from Cyberpunk 2020. If you want to stun your players, when they take a boatload of damage, or your enemies. Major successes and failures. So if something goes really, really well or really, really terribly, there is like greater rewards, greater losses. And then police response time, which I use police response time as well at my table. Yeah. It's really nice. Rob Mulligan offers the rules, some of the other rules I use in here. I also use the advice, never say never. It's yes, but.
It's always yes, but. Yeah, no, that's a good one. I think for John's
is for new folks.
Yeah, I think for John's I'd probably put his at C myself.
Yes.
Because it's got some useful tidbits in there, but it's one at this point we're again, and this is why I said earlier we have recency bias on some of the newer ones, because at the time this came out, this was genuinely it had some useful advice. I would say the numbers were slightly misaligned even then, but like the concept is good. But I would say that it just it suffers from being dated, and I don't know, it comes from an effort to tack on 2020 to a system that evolved from it. And I have mixed feelings about doing that. Like, there's a way to do it. I don't know that I particularly am a massive fan of the way John does it on some of the things that he does. Because things like stun saves got taken out for a very good reason. But and I get it. Like, if you want 2020 modularity, that's a modularity thing for you. So like, you do you, is kind of my thing with John. But for Rob Mulligan,
Rob's 5 house rules. The luck mulligan, I use this at my table. If you want to add more luck after a roll, you burn 2 luck to get a +1. And I like using that because, like, do you want to drain your resources now? Like, do you want to elect to make that choice? Memory checks and info drops. This is one of those situations where, like, sometimes players will be like, GM, what was that? And I'll just be like, unless it's like absolutely critical information they would have, I'll just like roll a concentration check to see if maybe your character remembers.
Right. That one doesn't always rub me the right way in terms of the way that if you have to be very careful about how you use that sort of thing as a GM. And I don't know that he does a great job explaining the nuance of that, but
usually, though, the way I do use it is, like, if they come across something that might be relevant to something they've encountered before, I'm like, hey, guys, roll a concentration check.
Yeah.
Damage with every hit. So basically, even if the armor stops everything, you take, like, 1 point of damage. Which, I mean, you bruise a little bit when you get shot. And your armor eats it. The GM report card is very nice. Rob Mulligan has a very nice GM report card that he's used over at CNU. I like having it. And then the quick campaign builder. It's not so much a rule as it is single player mode. We have that now in single player mode, but this was really nice for, like, well, I don't really have any plans at the moment. Quick plot. It
Yeah.
is almost like Cyborg's character, like Cyborg's quick mission generator.
Right. I like that alone, I think makes me want to put it in B tier
Yeah.
because this stuff feels like it's pretty timeless and it aged very gracefully almost. Like even as we've gotten some of these tools, like we've gotten mission generators in single player mode now that we could use in place of this one. I still think that this is a good way of doing that. Luck Mulligan's really good. The idea of yeah, like a lot of this stuff is like modular home rules that don't really feel like they're trying to tack back in 2020 or do anything that is like particularly I don't know. None of this feels against the spirit of Red.
Yeah.
Whereas someone like John likes 2020 more than Red, and he's said that multiple times.
Yeah.
And it felt like he was trying too hard to like really cross translate 2020, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like, I want to play Red.
I can understand trying to bridge the gap from 2020 to Red, especially for like some of the old heads coming over.
Sure.
But like Rob was like Rob Mulligan was like one of the first creators I had seen, and he jumped into Cyberpunk Red first and really added in what felt like may have been missing at the time.
Right. And I liked that approach more than trying to revert it to an old rule base. That this was the whole reason we have Red and not expansions for 2020 is because Red, we needed the update, right? That's just something that I know I've disagreed. Just the philosophy of it, I've disagreed about the philosophy of that with the way John looks at that for a long time. And like nothing against John. It's literally just like I don't agree with the philosophy of like we need this new system to look a lot like the old system for it to be good enough kind of thing. It's like if you like the old system, play the old system. That's why there are still people that play 3.5 D&D in a world that's on 5e. Like they're like the old system, play the old system. Like it's fine to not like a new system.
So back to the Wirehead screen.
Yeah, that is our tier list. So chat, take a very good look. These are S tier picks, A tier picks, and then B through F tier along with the game supports.
I received one very quick question that's very relevant.
Cool, let me translate really quick. All right, I am back on the screen. What do we got?
So the question is, what are your all other factors aside, what is your favorite DLC?
All other factors aside, what is my favorite DLC? If we include the extra articles from interface volumes as DLCs for that consideration, I would say Full Stop Solo Fortune 2045. Just because of how much it adds. Like it's everything I needed as a GM from the word go and did not yet have in another supplement. If we discount those because they are technically paid supplements, then my next pick below that would probably be, if we're talking one that adds new rules, Going Quiet. If we're talking just a useful one that I would always recommend to new players of the game, it's Red Crumb Cargo. But it's hard to pick just one because they fill so many different niches. So like favorite adventure, easily Red Crumb Cargo within the DLC library. Favorite new rule set, Going Quiet, no doubt.
I could agree with Red Crumb Cargo for being favorite adventure. My favorite DLC, Elflines Online. That's it. That full stop. End of story.
Yeah.
So, but with that, any last news? What we got, Emmerron? Anything else?
Just I wanted to read something that Oscar was typing in here real quick before I say for certain. Just had a person in CNU who was like, Red lol, too much rules, so they had an even lighter version of Cyberpunk. Try to be nice, but you can't come at me with, hey, your rules are so wordy. Which one? Yeah, I mean, I would say if you want to play lighter Cyberpunk, go to Cyborg. Play Cyborg.
Yeah, Cyborg.
Like, we literally have like Cyborg is quick hacks. Cyborg.
We love Cyborg.
Yeah, Cyborg has weaponized biological agents that you can literally use like magic.
Nanomachines.
It's got guns. It's got all of the trappings of Cyberpunk without being capital C Cyberpunk in a much snappier resolution system. If Red is still not simplified enough for you, that is the next step down in my opinion. But that I think is the last that we need to do. So we went all
right.
We went well over.
This is a little long.
3-hour episode, ladies and gents.
Holy shit.
Holy fuck. And you thought you asked me earlier today, well, Emmerron, what were you doing for your half the episode? The tier list.
I'm sorry.
This is why I said the tier list. Because
it was a very thoughtful, introspect into everything that we've been, retrospect into everything that we've seen so far.
I'm just giving you shit. That is literally all it is.
Yeah.
But no, it was a good discussion, a worthy discussion. We had to spend 3 hours talking about stuff. This should, and hopefully for all of you watching, whether you're here with us live on Twitch as we're doing this, or you're watching us later on Spotify or YouTube, hopefully this gives you a very good idea of like where we view the game from in a fairly holistic fashion. And some of you may disagree with our takes. Yeah, and I'm just waiting to see the comments on either platform that says, I'll take, you guys suck because you rated my favorite DLC as a C tier instead of where it rightly belongs in S. And I welcome those comments. Like, try to keep the personal insults out of it, obviously. But if you really believe it that strongly, please do let us know in the comments. We'd love to talk about the back and forth of that in a future episode. If not,
also don't start a YouTube drama war. We already got one of those going on in the tabletop community.
There's always one broiling in the comments of a tabletop video somewhere. Like, look, we don't have enough drama in Cyberpunk. That's my hot take. We need more. No. The Cyberpunk Red community is not nearly toxic enough. We need extra toxicity. No. Yeah. I trust the community to not be super shitty about it. But genuinely, if you disagree with any of our takes, we would love to hear your good faith commentary about that and like give us your reasoning. We'd love to discuss it between ourselves even, whether that's on like the Q&A next week or as it's kind of own side topic later. All of that is good. But that definitely has more than done it for us this week. We need to go. Yes. Diamond's got shit to do after this. I've got to keep writing a sinking feeling because I'm working on the rewrite of some of the early things after playtesting. But all that said, my name is Emmerron.
And I'm Diamond Dust.
And we hope you have a wonderful morning, evening, or afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Stay healthy, stay safe, and until next time, peace.
Bye-bye.